Doing great.
Yeah, doing great. Thank you for having us.
Good. I'm so glad y'all could join us. So, well, I guess let's just get started with a little bit about yourself. Marianne, why don't we start with you and we'll do ladies first.
Okay. I'm Marianne Deal-Jenkins. I live in Lexington, South Carolina, and I'm a member of the KC West Columbia Jaycees. I am South Carolina born and raised, and have enjoyed being here and all the stuff that the state has to offer. I joined the Jaycees in 2012 after being here in the Columbia area for a little while and realizing like the more I was involved and able to give back, the more just joy I had in my life. And so I tried to find a place that I could do that and still like be me and meet people that were not necessarily always working in my building. And so I found the Jaycees, and I have held leadership roles on the local and state level since then. And it's just been a great time. I've really enjoyed it.
Good. And you actually come from one of those JC recruitment stories that I hear so many of the other ones tell, where you met your husband in the Jaycees, right?
I did. We actually met working baseball concessions. And so, like, when I tell people we met doing community service, everyone kind of looks at us a little strange. And we're like, no, voluntary community service. Like, it wasn't mandated.
Picking up trash on the side of the road, huh?
Yeah, right. And so we met doing baseball concessions and raising some money for Camp Pope, which is a camp for individuals with special needs, which holds, like, special places in both of our hearts. Like, he was really involved with Special Olympics prior to the Jaycees. And one of my best friends growing up, he's a camper at Camp Pope. And so I got to see Camp Pope from the family side before I knew it from the JC side. So it's a good fit.
That's great. And James, what about a little bit about you?
So I'm James Wilkins. I'm from California. I'm in between San Jose and San Francisco where I live. I've been a JC for actually 17 years.
Oh my gosh.
But during that period, I spent 8 years in the Navy. So I wasn't active for about 8 years while I was out, doing the Navy thing. I joined the JCs because the simple fact is someone's like, hey, I think you have potential. Why don't you come join out this group? I kind of joined it as a friend thing, and it turned into something amazing because it gave me the skills and things I needed to excel in my life and to get where I'm at today, being a manager in a company where I'm a service/operations manager for a IT firm, and just continuing and helping the chapters and the different various projects. Like one of my projects I like is helping everyone. That's a quick, summary about myself. We finishing my bachelor's in December and then working on my master's right after for business.
Wow. I feel like I need a degree to talk to y'all because we were just talking about that before we came on. So I'll have to sign up for school next year then. Okay, what was your aha moment that made you decide that, yes, running for NVP is something that you want to do, especially looking at it as a year from where we didn't really get to do quote unquote things that normally you get to do with all the travel and all the perks of being a national vice president? I'll start with James.
So what made me do it is, opportunity to grow. We're in this hopefully a rare occurrence where something like this won't happen again in our lifetime. And we're going to get the skills and different management styles and different ideas and out of the box thinking to grow on not only ourselves, but the organization and the members on different ways to handle different scenarios where we come up with a thing in a project where, oh, XYZ happened. Oh, that's nothing. That just compared to COVID. Oh, that compared to 2020 at all. So I think that is a way to help us grow. And, I think outside the box, and I want people to know that it's not the end of the world that we're in COVID. We're not experiencing this. There's new ways to get out there. And, the chapters are doing it. The members are doing it. We just got to constantly excel at it.
Very good answer. Marianne, what was your aha moment to make you want to run, especially getting to see Trey do it this year and seeing, you got a firsthand account of it, basically.
I have, and it's definitely been powerful because when you're behind the scenes, you see the ups and downs and you see the good and the bad. Actually, like, I don't know if I could put my finger on one aha moment. Way back when I was like a baby JC coming up, like I was asked, what kind of, like, what's the highest level of leadership you might want to be in this organization? And at that point, I was like, I was very impressed by the MVPs and what the MVPs were doing and the connections that they had. And just their leadership and their abilities. And I thought, maybe one day. And, we in South Carolina had a great year last year working together with my team. And I just thought, maybe now's the time. And right now, like I was reading the other day in one of the leadership journals, education leadership journals I was reading, and it said necessity is the mother of invention. And I feel like right now we are in a moment and in a time where that necessity is now. And like James was saying, a lot of things have happened during COVID and things have changed. And the way we look at the organization has changed. However, I feel like bringing in some of the stuff that used to be and using the stuff that we're doing now and being able to meld them together to move toward the future is really like what we need to be focused on for 2021.
Very good. So I have a question from Facebook. It says, what is a skill that you will be using during your NVP year? So this time we'll start with Mary Ann.
Collaboration. I was real big last year on making sure that my team was working together as a team. I feel like we can do a lot more with all of us than I can by myself. And I feel that using that collaboration and working together to reach common goals is the way that we're going to be successful.
And James, what is the skill that you plan to use during your NVP year?
My analytical skills. So we could analyze things going on in the world, United States, and local areas, and learn how to benefit that and analyze the rules and regulations so we could get those events and have in-person events even under different circumstances.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And another one from Facebook. What is one thing you're looking forward to doing during your year as NVP? And we'll start with James.
That's an easy one. Making an impact and seeing the members grow from me helping them make that impact.
Good answer. Mary Ann?
I think for me, it would be making that connection all the way from the national level to the local level. I feel like there's a lot of power in those local members, and the local members are the reason that we're able to be who we are and help and impact the way that we are doing. And so I think meeting people and working from the top all the way down and making sure we're putting emphasis down there is something I'm really looking forward to doing.
And that's a really good point. It's something that I noticed this year. And I had felt it in years past. Being from Mississippi, we were so small that we didn't have a full state organization or anything. So there was a huge breakdown. And I really think that the pandemic has actually helped us connect to those local members more often. I've said the example many times that, I have some very large in size states and their chapters are very spread out. Since we're on these Zoom calls, I've been able to talk to them more often than had I been in for just a weekend, and I wouldn't have been able to travel 900 miles across Wyoming or Nebraska. And so that's a really good point to keep in mind, that the local members, because I don't feel like that they know exactly everything that goes on up above them. All right. So another from Facebook. What is something you learned during your run as state president that may change the way you approach being an NVP? And who did I start with last time? Mary Ann?
I don't remember.
We'll go with you then.
Sure. I can't remember. First. Right. You ready?
Yeah, I was just going to reread it.
Okay. So something I learned is to fail forward. Not everything's always going to work, and if we can learn from it and change it the next time we try it, then we're better for it. So that, I feel like that's the big thing, was fail forward.
And so then, James, what is something that you learned during your run as state president that may change the way you approach being an NVP?
Adaptability. It's a skill, because I'm current state president in California, so adaptability of leading in COVID and dealing with different style of members, because with California being a diverse state, we have different stuff. So being able to adapt within each member, within each chapters of the difference and diversity of that.
Good. And let's see, here's another Facebook one. What is one thing that you would do to help retain members? So to James.
That's a good question. I have to look at the local area, because like I said, my experience with California is very diverse. And if we go from California all the way to the East Coast, we could see a huge change in diversity. So what might work in North Carolina may not work in Washington. So we got to look at that area and see what those people want in that area and develop programs or community events that will help them retain and want them to become and stay Jaycees.
Good answer. And Marianne, how do you feel you'll help retain members?
I think that's a great question. I think retention is probably one of the things that we should focus on a lot because, it was told to me long ago, like our number of people that don't renew, the number is quite high. And I was quite shocked by that when the first time I heard it. And I thought, well, why? And I think it's because we get tied down in too much negativity and we start spreading that negativity like across rather than having those one or two people that we vent to or even vent up. And so therefore we're bringing too much negativity to the local members and they're like, well, why am I going to be around this? There's already all this negative in the world. So why do I want to spend my time being in more negative? And so I think when we're working on retention, then we need to make sure that we're showing that joy and finding that passion and being able to let our members have that, even those warm fuzzies, because those warm fuzzies are the ones that are going to keep people going and doing what they need to, rather than kind of dwelling all in the negative, because we've got enough of that to deal with in life.
Definitely do that. So, the retention, that was a really good question, Samara. Thank you for asking that because it is something that we do need to focus on and it is a tough one. And so I remember one of my past national vice presidents, they always told me that they needed to get their members or our members when she was talking to my local chapter to a national event because you just don't get it until you make it to a national event. And if you look at the past trends of our membership, the ones that stay and really get involved, they've been somehow, whether it be North American Academy, Leadership Training University, or a conference. Mm-hmm. And a lot of it this year has happened. James, you can speak personally on game night. I know y'all have kind of like become this big giant clique. And so, but that's helped so many members that maybe I've heard at least one say that she wasn't involved anymore. And it rekindled her love for the Jaycees as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, game night was one of the best things that could have happened after this because I really met people from different states and chapters. And we could see each other's sides, competitive sides in Uno, but it's all fun. It's all out of love.
Yeah, that's why I quit Uno because I couldn't handle it with y'all.
That was a little intense.
Y'all are too intense. I was in here trying to flip my own tables and stuff. So I was like, y'all was making me so mad.
But it's because like a lot of us, a couple of us bought multiple Uno decks so we could switch them out. Like I literally have 2 decks on my desk right now of different style of Unos, and people have more than that too.
Yeah, well, I love that y'all and then y'all were trying to have competition. Like the competition in Uno wasn't enough. Then y'all competed in who could get the biggest Uno cards, who could get the wild. Like y'all were too hardcore for me.
Yeah, we even keep statistics on record number of his skips, who had drawn the most cards, and it's all fun.
All right, so one more question, and then I'll let y'all go so I don't keep y'all all night. But what is one project that y'all think each state or chapter should have to participate in and do? And I guess we'll go with James, starting him.
And like a new project or an existing project?
Mm-hmm. It can be either one, whichever you want.
I would say, based off the current trend, I think everyone needs to look at the area and create a project that can make a difference of COVID. Like go out there and make a difference, because that's one thing I think right now that will get the name, the JCI out there, or Jaycees, depending on what name brand they use, and continue to grow, because everyone's like, oh yeah, I know about the Jaycees and JCIs because of this COVID project. And I think creating a national COVID project might be that the chapters and states can then adopt will be a great way to go.
And what about you, Marianne? What's a project that you think either the states or chapters could adopt?
So I'm a teacher, and so literacy is a big thing in my world and for me. I think that a project that our chapters and states could adopt is a Read with the Jaycees program. We have Zoom working right now for us in our favor because our schools aren't allowing people to come in and visit the way that they used to. And so what we could do is partner with these local schools, whether it be elementary or even maybe even middle or high, but probably focusing elementary, so that way you're starting that foundation young and showing them that people from all walks of life, all backgrounds, all creeds enjoy reading, and they're coming to read to me. And so what we would do is take books, read them on Zoom to the class. We could even donate the books to the local classrooms and start building classroom libraries. So that way they could see the importance of literacy and that, adults still read too.
Between both of y'all's answers, y'all have my brain just spinning now. I'm sitting here thinking like, how can I leave a legacy and get this started? Steal this from y'all. Okay, I'm just kidding. Maybe. So is there anything else that either of y'all want JCI USA to know about you?
Like fun facts? Like
sure, it's a fun fact. I always hate doing the fun facts because I don't really think my fun facts are that fun. But if you like it, let's go with that.
I love to travel, and so I'm constantly in my car going. I bought my car, it had 3 miles on it. Now it has like over 250,000 and still going strong because I'm constantly hopping the road and hop in the car and head to different places. I love traveling down either to the beach or the mountains because living right here in Lexington, South Carolina, I'm about 3 hours from each one. Let's see, another fun fact. I play handbells in an auditioned handbell ensemble. It's a talent that I started grooming when I was like 10 years old. I started playing at church, and then from there it just kind of spread. So we do big shows like the Governor's Carol Lighting for the state of South Carolina that happens on the State House every year. We've also played for several weddings. And so it's a lot of fun. I was telling Miranda earlier, I recently graduated with my master's in May. And so I was one of those COVID graduates that had a different kind of graduation than normal, but I'm excited that I got that taken care of, and it was in educational leadership. So
congratulations on that. That's a huge accomplishment.
Thank you.
And so, James, what's a fun fact about you?
Okay, so I'm going to show you, I'm a huge Disney nerd.
Oh.
I used to live in Southern California. On average, I would go down to the parks at least once a week. Now, since I live further, before it shut down, I'd go every other month at least down to the parks.
I'm a little jealous of
that. Disney has taken lots of my money. Not only that is people might shock about this, but I'm also a crafter. I like to sew. I have a lot of sewing stuff.
Yeah.
I made masks. I made shirts. I made boxers. So fabric takes a lot of my money too, especially when it comes out with Star Wars and Disney fabric. This is a part where people kind of get like, you're a Disney nerd, but you also love Halloween and horror films and all that scary, bloody, gory stuff. Yeah, so I'm on both far end of the spectrum on that. And the weirdest probably fun fact some people say about me is at one point I owned and drove a 1982 Cadillac DeVille hearse.
Wow.
Okay.
So I can't get behind. I think I'm probably the only adult that does not like Disney. If I never have to go to Disney World ever again with a child, I will be 100% okay. Emily Knock tells me that if you go as an adult without children, it's great and you will love it. But I don't know. I've only done children and I never want to do it again. The only good thing about that was you could drink your way through Epcot. But now I will get behind you on the Halloween thing. Love Halloween. I don't know about driving a hearse, though. That might be a little too odd for me.
It was fun.
Let's see. We have one more question. And actually, you're going to be put on the spot, James. It says, ask James about the Chucky dolls. If you don't need to answer that, we can.
I'll answer it because, people find out. But don't send me nothing about it. So when the movie Child Play came out, I was about Andy's age. And being that kid, there was a Buddy Me Pal doll. So I'll be 38 in November. Mm-hmm. And so we had the Buddy Me Pal doll. And all in that kid, my childhood mind said, that doll's Chucky, that doll's possessed, that doll wants to kill me. I threw it on the roof. I would cry as a young kid because I heard footsteps were on the roof, calling my family, torturing my mom, my dad, my brother. And then finally fell off the roof. The dog was getting I'm like, kill it. I hated that doll. And that, because of that, it traumatized me. So if I see Chucky in a room, I'd be like looking at it because I think it's going to jump out and still kill me. So thank you, Amanda.
I'm getting all the hate mail now from saying I didn't like Disney, but I don't know. That's my unfun fact. I don't like Disney, but I'm always terrible at these fun facts because there's really not much that's very interesting about me, and I have to struggle, especially because they always put you on the spot, and they're like, "What's a fun fact about you?" And I'm like, because I don't play the handbells and I don't love Disney. Like the only thing I can really do can speak sign language. That's about it.
That's a cool fact. That's a much needed form of language communication.
Yeah, I need to practice more so I can actually, get some paid translating things. Past President Lawrence, all you have to do is ask. We can definitely get you on here. Maybe you can get on there and help me quiz Heather in 2 weeks. So he's asking what does the guy have to do to get on Facebook Live. So I'll message you when I get done, Lawrence. Okay, so it is our 100th year anniversary, and I don't think I've had either of you on to answer this question. I know I've had Marianne on, but that was because it was supposed to be Trey. So in honor of our 100th year anniversary, I am trying to get 100 100 stories from awesome people about why they JC. And I haven't done it. I have to go back and look, but I think I'm in the 90s now. So you guys need to tell me your why you JC story, which was probably kind of your introduction, but let's hear it for the ones that just joined us late. And let's start with Marianne.
I spoke on it earlier. My why is Camp Hope. That really got me involved in kind of lit my passion for the Jaycees and what the Jaycees do. Camp Hope, for those of you who don't know, is a camp for individuals with special needs that is held up at the Clemson Outdoor Lab in Pendleton, South Carolina. And it's just amazing. Like for the campers to be able to go and live a normal camp life experience, like it's just great. And there's a moment on our Camp Hope move-in days where they ring the bell and the campers show up because we see them coming in the drive, and they're like hanging out the window, so excited to be back and just ready to have that camp experience that they hop out of the cars and start giving hugs. Like you might not have ever seen them before, but you're going to get a hug because they're just so excited just to be back home.
Oh, you gave me chills. And James, what is your why you JC and why you stay?
So why JC is because right now where I'm at, when I first started the Jaycees, I'd be sweating, I'd be nervous, being in front of how many people are watching, or even in a big room doing public speaking and having the confidence and the skills. That's why JC, and why I continue JC, because I'm constantly building new skills, and that will better myself and help me train others to share those skills, to give those skills to the other people that want to gain those skills and the knowledge. And that's what I think the JC is about. One of the reasons the JC is about, and that's why I JC and why I will stay JC as long as I can.
Awesome. Samara says she needs to get out to Camp Hope. Yeah, I love y'all's stories and thank y'all for sharing them. But I guess we will end it here. Be sure to join us next week, same time. We will have Maylee Ram from Iowa. She is also our newest MVP candidate. She announced last week, and she will be on to talk about her platform and why she's wanting to run and a little bit about her. And then we also have NVP Margot will be joining us and talking about her potential or her running for Deputy National President for 2021. So it'll be a super exciting show next weekend. Thanks, James. Thanks, Marianne, for joining us. I really had fun talking to y'all, even if I disagree with Disney. Or to the internet world, too. Y'all still can love me, though.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank y'all.